Happy Monday, everybody! It is the week of Christmas. We're now in Christmas countdown mode. Oh my gosh. And who better to spend it with than my favorite people all on one screen, which makes me so happy. So you guys are listening to Author Talk, and it is me, Fern, Russell, and Sandy is here with us today. So you guys, what is happening? Are you guys all ready for Christmas? Russell, how was your venture back to your homeland?
Yes, well, it took us 13 hours and 1 minute to drive from Atlanta to Houston yesterday. And I got a welcome home from Fern, and thank you, Fern. And I got to tell you, it's nice to be home. Believe it or not, as cold as it is in Houston, it's a lot warmer than it is in Atlanta.
I believe that.
Well, this is where you belong, okay? I mean, we are loaning you to Atlanta because we understand that this is Melinda's career. It's temporary, yeah, because you belong here.
I got to tell you, I'm going to miss the swimming pool Christmases this year, though.
I know.
Yeah. Morning, Greg. Well, I mean, do you guys have a chance of snow? Supposedly, we have a chance of snow up here for Christmas.
I don't think we do in Houston. They said
no, not.
We do up here. So if you want to see snow, and if we actually get it, you're more than welcome to come see it.
We would have to drive in it to get to your place.
Hey, not really. No, because if y'all don't get it, you just have to, little venture in. You could do it. We shall see. But
the worst part of it is driving. So I don't want to drive to where there is snow.
No, and it's such a crummy day today. Are you guys getting rain? I'm getting pounded with rain. It is an awful day. It's just gross. And then it's supposed to be cold, which is no fun. But you guys, Josh got my Santa gift all set up in my yard. So I'm having to keep my kids out of my backyard. So we got them a spring-free trampoline. And so we're having to keep them out of the backyard and from my bedroom because you can open.
Okay, you're going to use it 3 times and then you're going to get rid of it.
No. Oh my gosh. So Josh, after he set it up yesterday, he went and he jumped on it. And then he took the kids into the garage and we're like, oh, help me find something so I could go and jump on it. Let me tell you, that thing's freaking cool. Okay. The spring-free ones, I've never jumped on one. So it was pretty awesome.
What does spring-free mean? I know that's got those.
It's all by tension. So you have the tension rods and stuff on the bottom that hold the tension for the mat. So they're all underneath. So they're not around it. So they can't fall with their foot through it or hit the
that's
spring
good.
or anything. Yeah. So they're it's super.
When I was a kid, we used to have wars on the trampolines we'd all bounce and try to push each other off the trampolines.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. They really like them at school and they like the gymnastics element. And this one has a basketball goal that we can put on it. And then it has a sprinkler system on the top. So they're set for summertime. So it's going to be, I'm so excited on how it's going to go down because we're going to come back on Christmas Eve from my mom's. I'm so excited for it. So I will have to take a video and I will post that. So, stay posted on how that goes down. But
when are you leaving to go to your mom's?
I'm leaving after this. After, I clean my house and pack my bags some point today.
So maybe tomorrow.
No, I'm going to leave. I'm going to drive. I'm venturing out.
Use dynamite to get that house clean.
It's never going to fully be clean. I have kids. That's just how it happens. But we are gearing up for Christmas. The 12 days is over. You guys are survived the 12 days, which is wonderful.
You not only survived, you thrived. That was a great ending. I got to be on the last day, and it was so exciting. I loved it.
It was a lot of fun. But Fern, are you ready for Christmas? What did you do?
So this weekend, what I did was watch the end of the World Cup because
of course you did. Of course you did.
Yeah, and that was super exciting, and I was super happy when Croatia beat Morocco because I love Croatia, and I was not a happy fan with Morocco. I mean, I'm glad they made history, but no. And then I was really heartbroken because France lost. But I have to say, that was one exciting game. I mean, Argentina put 2 goals in right away. France was like losing bad. Then France came back and tied it to 2. Then Argentina put another one in extra time. Then France was able to put another one. So then they were tied. So then we went to penalties. And so it was an exciting end to the cup, and I think it was well worth watching. So I enjoyed it. I invited people to my house and nobody came. It was so sad.
Not everybody is.
But it was at 9 a.m. So I mean,
Wow.
I can't really fault people for not wanting to come at 9 a.m. on a Sunday to a World Cup party. So I get it. But we watched it. We had a great time. So
who
that
ended
was
up
really
winning?
Huh?
Who won?
Argentina.
Oh, okay. See, I don't follow it. I don't follow it.
But it's cool. I mean, at that point, either one could win, and I would have been happy. I would have been happier if it was France because I really love France. But I mean, the cup is coming home to the Americas again, which is nice. So it'll be here in the Americas for a while. So it's good. It's good. It was an exciting game. So, but now I'm here in the hallway waiting for my mani-pedi lady because at 10:30 I'm gonna get a mani-pedi. So
at your house?
No, this is like at her where she.
Oh, you're there. Oh, okay. I was like, okay. I wanted the name of that person that would come to your house to do it.
Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful?
She has, because during COVID, my parents didn't want to go anywhere and stuff, and so she has come to our house and done it. So I love Nikki. She is the best.
Yay!
That would be.
And you have a Christmas sweater on. Stand up and show it.
Yep. See?
Okay, that's a very
God,
busy
I love
one.
that.
See, I prefer busy Christmas sweaters because it's more fun to make fun of, and even if you're wearing them, to laugh at. You know what I mean?
I knew you wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't laugh at mine. I knew that.
Yeah, I'm kind of past that joke, but as you know, they're great, right? They're great. And
Russell,
you have one on too.
No, I want to know what your comment was because we were texting and Sandy said pajama party, and I'm the one that said don't threaten me with a good time. So I want to know what your comment was.
Okay, well, my comment was and the audience will laugh. I wasn't sure you would wanted me to say it during the show, but you often do the show in your pajamas. So what's the difference?
Oh my God, I feel like I look nice, Russell.
Yes, you do. You do your hair, you do your makeup, and then you put your pajamas back on.
No, I put my pajama bottoms back on, but I have a nice top. Okay?
By the way, I'm not judging. I'm not judging. I'm just observing.
It's the waist up. I was going to fully embrace the whole pajama party. Okay. I don't have any onesies, but I would have run out to Walmart and found one if we were going to do a pajama party.
If I hadn't had to come out into the real world and drive through Houston traffic to get here and everything, I would be in my little yoga pants and t-shirt at home, people. Okay, that's usually what I'm in. Because
hello, that's me. Yeah. I got a shirt on, but I still do have my yoga pants on, so I'm comfy.
Those things are so comfortable.
Thank you. Oh, you guys, I'm telling you, workout.
Look at that comment from your mother.
I know, isn't my mama so nice? It's so lovely to see you all together. It warms my heart to see you all. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you.
Lola is missing from this party. She should be. She's been a guest.
No, she was been fired many times by Amy.
I fired her yesterday. True statement. I did call and fire my mom last night at like 8:00 at night.
I am going to
every time though.
I'm not going to fire her.
Every time that Bola gets fired by Amy, she is hired by me. So really, she's never fully unemployed. Okay, she's never fully unemployed.
Okay, so what was one of? I want to ask a question, and that is, what was one of your main professional accomplishments this year? And what do you think was one of the main accomplishments of this show?
Who are you
Either
asking?
question.
Are you asking that to everyone or to
Yes.
Amy? Okay, everyone.
Okay. Everybody else can go first.
Sandy, you go first. And the
Okay.
reason I say that is because you're retired, but you've been on the show like every month because either Fern or I can't be here every month and you do a great job.
And that is my biggest accomplishment for this year, is being on this show, because Monday morning, I mean, it gets me up and going on Monday. So I love it. And not that I want either one of you to be out for any reason, because I love watching you as well. But when you're not, I love filling in for you. So that's my job these days, is to be a fill-in on the Author Talk podcast. And I love it. That's my biggest accomplishment. And I love you guys, and I love everything you do. And I love, and I know Amy's going to share in a minute some of the numbers of how we're doing, and they're just they're amazing. I love it, and I can't wait till we go from the thousands to the millions in the number of viewers. So, yay! Thank you, Russell, for giving me that opportunity to say that.
Hey, Fern, how about you?
Okay, so I think my number one, the number one thing I'm proud of is that I am getting very near to finishing Gortiv Offensive. So I'm hope this next couple weeks are going to be putting on the last touches before it goes off to Max's hands and Rachel's hands to work their magic. So I think that's my favorite. Now, of this show, I have to say that my favorite part of this show has been really all of the guests, because I am really enjoying the different types of guests that we've had. Like we've had writers, songwriters, we've had memoirists, we've had poets this year. And I think that for our show, the coolest thing is having expanded to so many variety of authors, and getting to interview them and getting to see how we all come on this journey. I don't know. I really like the variety, I think, that we've gotten, for our show. That's my favorite part of the show.
I think one of your accomplishments for the show so far, Fern, is that your pedicurist that showed up. Is that why you're so excited? Just you're going to get your pedicure in a little bit.
This is Nikki, and she is like the best. Okay, she's the best.
So Fern, I think one of your main accomplishments on the show this year has been your ability to do an interesting interview and pull an interesting interview out of an author has gotten better and better all year. It's like your blade of abilities of journalism has resharpened and gotten really sharp this year.
And some of them have been hard, because like with
some have been very easy.
Yes. Some have been really dynamic and some have been hard, but that is so indicative of the author community, because we range from really gregarious people, right, to like one word answer people, right? And so it's like having to help all of them across all the different kinds of authors that they are, to just kind of talk about their book and get them into saying more about their author journey. That has been challenging sometimes. There have been some moments when I'm just like, I don't know what to say anymore. I'm not 100% sure what more I can ask, because they're not, flowing into an answer sometimes. So it's kind of like,
your co-host, sometimes, at least this one, Russell, I won't put Amy in the blame, but at least sometimes the very reason why you're having to work harder in the interview, I start participating less. So I know sometimes I haven't helped you very well. Sometimes when we have someone I'm very interested in, I won't shut up and I won't even let you ask enough questions that you have. I know that. But other times, I mean, so you've done a great job this year and you've gotten a lot better. I mean, you were good before, but you're better at the end of the year.
Yeah, my journalistic skills are coming back, man.
Yeah.
That's how I started my life, was as a journalist. So
Our
this is
interview with
interesting.
Philip last week and everybody on our podcast. And by the way, I do want to thank everyone that's listening to us on our podcast. We're top 10. We appreciate it. Most people that listen to us don't listen to us on Monday morning. They listen to us during the week on our podcast, and we thank you. And when we get to Amy, I will ask her to tell us where you can find us if you want to listen to us on our podcast. The number of people that's joined our Author Talk Facebook group exploded during Amy's 12 days, which I hope to talk about here in a minute. And we want to thank you for listening to us. But Philip, last week, and you should go back and listen to Philip's interview if you're interested. It was a great interview. It was quite touching how he was really willing to reveal himself. Don't you think?
I thought so too. He very much was open as to sharing his story himself.
I don't think we've ever had a moment like that, Fern.
And you know, I think that with what is really powerful about Philip's interview was the acknowledgement of when people write a memoir, right? When they're writing from their own life story, there's more fear, even though, like, those of us who are novelists, you know, Russell, there's the imposter fear, right? Like, who am I to be writing? Who am I to be a writer? Am I really a writer, right? There's always these doubts. But when you're doing memoir, it becomes even more painful, because then it's like, who wants to read about my life, right? That's what I always think. Anytime that I'm in one of Max's memoir classes, I'm like, why? Who would want to know about my life? My life's boring.
I feel the same way.
Yes, and we think, oh, the only people who can do memoir is someone who's famous, right? Like, you know, been a president, you've been, you know, are you somebody famous? But ordinary lives matter, and they have impact to people. So I think that's the biggest part of that interview, is like just honoring that, yes, right? Ordinary lives matter. All right, I gotta go because Nikki's ready for me. I love you guys, and I will see you next week, and we'll get to see you in person and to our show. Thank you so much for listening to us this year, and looking forward to so much more. Love you guys.
Okay, Amy.
Love you, Fern. I miss you.
Bye,
So,
Fern. Yes.
Amy, what do you think was your major accomplishments, both professionally and on the show, either or?
On the show is just having it grow, where it, you know, went into the top 10 for indie book podcasts on Good Pods, and, you know, kind of expanding our author pool, you know, and writing pool, and it's expanding us into the writing community, right? So that to me was the biggest accomplishment and fun part, I would say.
Well, how did it expand so much? Because the expansion of the writing pool, you're absolutely right about that. That is all you, and I give you all credit for it. And I think it was one of the 2 or 3 most significant parts of the show this last year is the right author pool that we are taking. This is expanded so much. How'd you do that?
Well, a lot of it is, you know, I collaborated with Mickey of Creative Edge, which Russell, you know, and Sandy knows. And then really, like in the last 3 to 4 months, my LinkedIn and people just reaching out to me on LinkedIn has exploded. I mean, I think I probably get anywhere between 7 to 10 people interested in wanting to be on this show a week. So, I mean, it's definitely
Now,
expanded.
how did that just stop? That just started. And
Mhm.
explain that a little bit more for people, because as I've actually asked you to answer this question several times before because we've gotten so many questions. If I listen to this show, how can I be on the show if I'm a new author?
Yeah. So, I mean, the easiest way is to send me a message on however you see us, right? I mean, we broadcast live to 3 or 4 places every Monday, and then we upload, for the podcast like Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, Stitcher, Good Pods, all of those, right, where you can find us. But sending me like a direct message, because my emails, I get so many emails a day, it gets pushed down. And so if you send me a direct message, I get notified on my phone. I can respond right then and there. I can check my calendar. That's a lot easier for me. The email is going to take me some time to get back to you because I'll read it and then it gets pushed down. So honestly, sending me a direct message is the quickest way to get booked or anything for the show.
And a direct message using what app? Like
Anything. You can send
Facebook?
it to me on Facebook. You can do it on Instagram, LinkedIn. You can comment on our YouTube channel that you want to be on. I will get that and reach out to you. That's the quickest way. I mean, if you want to do the professional route, send me an email and I will get back to you. It's just going to take me a little bit longer to do that. So.
Well, that's very good to know, because I think knowing how to get in touch with you, or the best way to get in touch with you, is important for all the people who might be listening and watching to the show on YouTube and seeing it and saying, I would love to be a guest on this show. So, yeah, I think that's a great thing to tell people. So thank you for sharing that.
Of course. And if you are my mama, right? My mama comments. My mom would say that my greatest accomplishment is the awards that I've won this year.
I saw that.
Okay, so what are they? I want to hear that again.
So I won Influential Businesswoman of 2022. And I also won Social Media Marketing Specialist and Business Owner of 2022. So,
And you were on the cover of one magazine.
I was on the cover of 3 magazines this year. I didn't announce all of them. I was on the cover of 3 magazines, and I had 6 featured stories this year in magazines. Inc. magazine listed me as one of the top 10 women to watch out for 2022 businesswomen.
Well, Josh could have said that.
On top of other ones like CIO Today and some other stories like that. So it's been an exciting year for Abundantly Social. So it's been great for sure.
So, and what's your plans for next year? What is you never even talked about the magazine that you and Nikki, tell us about that. That was new this year. And what's the plans for that next year?
Well, I have a lot of new stuff. So I won all of those awards this year. Abundantly Social grew. The 12 Days of Page Turners grew. And I co-own a literary magazine with Mickey Mickelson. We own Top Shelf Magazine. But on top of that, we're also launching our own podcasting network in January. That's going to have between 28 and 30 shows on it. Author Talk is also going to be on that. It's going to be Project Entertainment Network is what we'll be rolling out in January. So it's been an exciting year of growth and kind of expanding into new opportunities and things like that. So it's an exciting time as far as what I have planned for 2023. Well, honestly, I don't plan anything. I wing it.
Well, the network is the answer, right?
The network is something I'm really excited about because it's all things that bring entertainment. So any form of entertainment, if you want to talk about TV movies or TV shows, movies, pop, all of those, you're more than welcome. And if you have a writing show, a book show, all of those things that just bring entertainment and stuff like that. The writing community as a whole is really important to me. And I also am special, I guess, for a special place in my heart is indie and small press authors. That's my realm. I love to kind of stay within that realm. And so, giving them a network that has a lot of those shows on it that they can kind of have access to is kind of a dream of mine. So I'm really excited about it.
Well, here's a question. if there's going to be this network that Author Talk is a member of, are we gonna be networking between the shows? Is that something the viewers might get the benefit of?
Yeah,
What's
so
the plan?
it's definitely going to be like a collaboration sense where if Author Talk has a great guest, like last week's guest was phenomenal, right? And so I sent him to Greg's show, The Conversation, where we can kind of referral, and it expands all of our network and our reach and our potential for guests and stuff to come on the show. So it kind of just makes it where not that we can pass authors around, because that's not what we're going to do, but where
Actually, authors want to be passed around. I mean, let's be honest. If the first thing that authors want is to be passed around. Oh, I can be in a show in more than Houston or Atlanta or College Station, or more than one podcast on one or two networks. That's kind of a big deal.
I think it is too. I think it's a very big deal.
It's something that's going to be exciting where they don't have to actively kind of go out, because then we're going to be like, oh, well, have you heard of The Conversation, right? Like, I think you'd be a great fit. Let me put you in touch with Greg, right? And then if Greg knows someone, like DC Gomez has her show, and you can kind of help them expand their reach and their network, right? Because sometimes that's hard. Like, even if you don't have a publicist like Mickey and stuff, but finding these shows, knowing where to go look and do all those things can be quite daunting, right? And I don't know who has that amount of time to just go and find all these shows. So if we kind of have a resource for you that helps you never know who puts you in contact or anything like that, right? So it's kind of fun.
Well, it gives me hope, because I actually, and we have Greg saying, what did Greg say?
He says, I feel like a sports play commentator is coming up here.
Oh, because I have at least one book that I hope that's coming out next year, perhaps two. So I'm going to want to be on as many podcasts as possible.
Right.
So I'm hoping perhaps with this network, I can be on 4 or 5 of the shows.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things, not like it's a one-stop destination, but it's one of your stops where you can kind of make the most of it, right? I mean, you still have the opportunity to make the most of it and get on other shows and stuff like that, but this kind of opens up your pool, right? So I'm excited.
And you have people like Philip Tommaso from last week. Mm-hmm. And Philip, I hope I said your name. The thing that struck me about Philip, another thing, and I keep bringing him up because he's kind of memorable, is Philip's a worker. He has a podcast. He's on a new podcast every week. The guy is working to promote plus he has a regular job. The guy's a worker. He
is. And that's one of the things, right? And so if you can, I'm all about making it convenient for people, right? I mean, I guess that's always been like my business model and everything, but you shouldn't have to like go and try really hard to find shows to be on. If there's a network that has a lot of shows, that you can be on, whatever price point they want to set, for you to be on their show is up to them. But it kind of makes it where they can keep you busy for a little bit, which is my goal.
Okay, here's the question. The last 2 authors we had on contacted you from LinkedIn.
Yeah, I have another one coming up in January.
Well, here's my question. Should all authors be on LinkedIn if you want to promote? Is that a great place to find places to promote your book through podcasts and that sort of thing? Because now you have 3?
Yeah, well, starting in January, we'll have a whole new lineup that's come from there. I don't know. I mean, I would say yes, but I don't recommend, if you're going to market your book on LinkedIn, for every author to be on LinkedIn, because not every genre does good on that platform. To me, I think like nonfiction, motivational books, business books are great, but I don't think like fiction in that sense or children's books are necessarily phenomenal on LinkedIn. Now, getting booked for shows, yes, but I would.
That's what I'm talking about, getting booked for shows, because it seems like that's how people are booking us right now, through you.
Yeah. and through my email. But
But
yeah,
the ones that are booking us right now are the ones that Amy's talking about, who have the appropriate book for LinkedIn. And she's right. There are some books that are better for Facebook, and there's some that are just meant to be on oh, I forgot the other one. The other big one,
Instagram, Twitter.
Instagram,
Yeah.
because when you see that and you see, I mean, almost everybody that brings me some information these days brings it from a Instagram link or Instagram story or whatever they're called. So I think it's all of the major platforms are important. It's just knowing which one would be the most appropriate for your book. And that's always been the case with marketing, is knowing it's all good, but which one's best for my
I don't have the energy to be on everything.
right.
So, I mean,
Absolutely.
I have the energy to be on one or two. So, and I do Facebook. I've always used the Facebook to promote. The question is, and I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't sign in. I don't check it. I don't connect through it. And only recently, when all these authors are using it to book themselves on interviews, am I thinking, is this something that over the next year I should start using to book myself?
I would. I mean, there's a ton of podcasting groups on there that you can join. And a lot of people will tell you if they have a podcast or whatever, and you can reach out to them. I mean, I enjoy it when people reach out to me. I mean, my mother sends them, happy birthdays and stuff. And I mean, I have found the nicest people to be on there when you send them things like that and respond and have conversations and stuff. I mean, LinkedIn, but I mean, that's only been in the past 3 to 4 months that LinkedIn has really blown up for me in that sense. But I mean, building connections and everything like about other authors and stuff will help too, because they all have different resources. So, I mean, that would be my advice.
Well, these are really, and these authors that you're talking about enlarging the author pool of the show. And the last 3 or 4 months, like you say, LinkedIn has contributed to that. And I got to tell you, we've had as a pool, this year has been some of the best authors we've ever had on as a group. I mean, we've had the BBC correspondent that had been thrown out of 3 different countries. That was a great show. He was interesting.
Yeah, he was cool.
The last 3 or 4 shows we've had, the authors, great shows. The pop singer from London, remember that about 4 or 5 months ago, she had a new song out. We were interviewing on Monday. That was a fun. We've never done a show like that before. It's been quite a year.
No.
It's
been so exciting.
What?
The show, like it growing and all the like diverse authors and reaching new genres and stuff with our guests it's been so much fun.
Yeah. I'm hoping, so what do you think is the next year is with your new network? How do you think that's going to change the show? Do you think it'll change it at all?
I mean, I like the way our show runs, so I don't see the format changing anything. I think if it helped, it would help it grow in terms of like audience base and popularity and things like that. But I mean, I think it just puts us in, a collaboration, I guess, as a sense with other podcasts that, also love the writing community as much as all of us do. So it kind of puts us with like individuals that just want to see the writing community grow, which will help all of us grow, which is always kind of my goal, is to help everybody grow.
One thing, Amy, I was going to ask you about is, I know you with Greg and with others have attended a lot of the shows they have on the weekends, the events, of the live events, and how does that help grow the Author Talk show?
Live events like
Comic Palooza.
Like the Comic Cons and stuff.
Yeah, the Comic Cons. Yeah.
I mean, that's helped Greg's show grow a lot because he would go to the vendors and be like, hey, I have a show. I'd love to feature you on my show and stuff like that, and kind of engaging with them in that sense and spreading the word. You know, doing those kind of live events for his show, I feel like has been great in that sense. I think Author Talk, collaborating with Mickey and then growing my network and everything on LinkedIn is what has been so beneficial for Author Talk this year. So
Because when I went with James, when James Hill was here visiting, we went to the Black Author show event.
right.
I told a bunch of people there about Author Talk, and I have their cards. I told them I knew you were pretty booked till the first of the year, so I'll be sending those to you. I was going to send them in an email. Now I may figure out how to send you a direct message.
She probably forgot to send them.
Just bring them to me
No,
when
I
you
have
come
them right
to
in a little
lunch.
stack, right in my purse to send
Just
to
give
you.
me the stack when we go to lunch next Monday. Just bring
That's
me-
a good idea.
bring
That's
it.
a good
That way
idea.
you don't have to worry about sending me a direct message.
But when I mentioned about Author Talk, and most of them had not heard of it, it was like everybody there was like, I want to be on the show. I want to be on the show. So
Yeah.
I just wondered if that happens when you go out to the Comic Cons and all that.
Yeah, I mean that happens for like Greg's show and stuff because he like passes out business cards for the con hour and the conversation and everything like that. I just kind of talk. I'll feed it into a conversation if I'm talking with an author and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to do speaking." But other than that, I don't know. I like it to just grow because we're just funny and people like listening to us. So I just let it do its thing.
You have a few people coming, or you have not a few, but you have some people coming from LinkedIn, some people coming from the live events, some people coming from just hearing you or seeing you, or 12 days of page turners. So yeah, I like it that it grows that way as well. I think that's great.
Man, okay, so the 12 days of page turners, I feel like I need to say this because it's like the biggest compliment. I had the New York Times best-selling author Tosca Lee, who I've never met. I met her on the 12 Days of Page Turner. She wanted to be on the Page Turners, which to me was like the coolest thing, right? Because you guys all know I love indies and small press. Like, that's my home. They make me happy. So I was just so flattered that she reached out to her publicist and was like, I want to be on this. And you know me, I'm going to make it happen. I'm like, yes, but we will make it happen. So it was
okay. So that's so awesome. And so you got her on?
Yeah, I got her on that day. I actually had cancellations and stuff. So then I just was like, this is the best day.
Is that when you booted me? Would you boot me to put her on there?
No, I had someone else that didn't show. I was like, okay. I didn't boot you. I released you of an obligation. That's what I did.
Okay.
No, I had two cancellations. One was I called and talked to you, and then I had another one that wasn't responding to my emails or everything. So I already knew that she wasn't going to come. So I was hoping that you would tell me, no, Amy, I'm going to do it. And then I would have had both of you guys on together so you could have met her. But then I knew the whole situation.
So that was like, this has been your most successful 12 days of page turners ever, right?
Yes. Like last year, this year it was more laid back.
And the baby is coming.
So last year, I dressed up really nice. I was really nervous. It was my first year doing it. Sandy had just retired and I was learning things on my own, right? And so
it is very hard to keep going, isn't it?
So this year it was more laid back because I'd already done it. So this year it was all about just having fun and giving the max amount of success that I could for the authors, right? So I wore an ugly sweater every night and we just kind of went on and had an hour-long conversation. And, there were so many people at one event. We had 62, 63 authors on. So some nights we had 6 authors, in 10 minutes apiece. I'm not one to cut you off if you're in the middle of a story at 10 minutes. So we went over most nights, but the coolest thing,
I'd have had a heart attack.
I know,
but you would have.
The coolest thing for me, though, and I think it was just, I don't know, I was so grateful for it, and I guess humbled by it, was even though we went over, and one night we went over like 30 minutes, I had a packed show. So we went to like 8:30, but we still had like the same amount of people watching and engaging the whole time. And that to me was like the coolest thing, because it wasn't, they were engaged in the authors and wanting to hear about their promotions and everything like that, instead of just like, oh, okay, it's 8:00, I'm out, right? And that to me was just,
Which, your best friend Russell would have done too.
I know Russell would have been like, Amy, it's 8. I know.
Hey,
Like,
I'm off the show.
right. But it was like the audience was still on and still engaging and commenting and sharing. And that to me was just the coolest thing, because they really were interested in the authors and sharing and all of that. So that to me was just the most, I don't know. I don't know if it was like grateful or humble, but it was just the coolest thing that happened. She's naked, so I can't open the door. That's why I'm not opening the door, because she's naked and I don't need that aired.
You also locked out your 15 dogs and your black cat that's the star of many of these shows.
I know. He's injured at the moment. His tail got slammed in the door. He didn't beat it out before the door, and so his tail's hurting him. He was bleeding for a little bit yesterday, so his tail's hurting him. So that's just how we're rolling at the moment. This is how we're rolling.
You have a full-blown family going on all the time behind the doors while you're doing this. I think that's amazing, and it's wonderful that you can even stay as paying attention as much as you do. Because I think I would probably be going kind of nuts myself right now, but you do.
Well, you're nuts anyway, Sam.
In my head,
I knew I could count on you, and you've been so good this whole show. I was starting to doubt myself.
You could.
Oh,
Okay.
isn't that adorable?
That's how we do it.
This is how we do it.
Amy, it's been a great show. Your hands are full.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fun year, Russell. I'm excited to see you on Monday, to see you and Sandy and Fern. It's going to be fun. I'm excited about it, for sure. But yes, this is my screamer, in case you guys didn't know. Here comes my other one. There's Josh.
Oh, your
Yes,
other one's
who's
really
in
tall.
trouble? Josh is in trouble because he didn't take care of the business when he was doing the work.
No, Russell, never.
So you can let Josh clean the house before you leave to go to your mama's. Josh, get to work.
I like he's laughing at you at the moment.
And by the way, we got your Christmas card, and Miranda and I both looked at it and said, that is the most...
Well, Sandy, you shouldn't have said that. I didn't get a Christmas card.
Oh,
so see, now you put her out there. You don't talk about stuff like that.
You said you were coming into town. I have a whole shebang for you. I have a card. I have a gift. I have everything.
Okay.
I wouldn't forget about you, Russell. You know that.
See, Russell.
Well, guys, I hope you have a Merry Christmas. We need to go so Amy can take care of her baby.
Russell, enjoy being with your family. I know
I will.
It's not like you get to see them every day now, so it's a special time.
And we wish everybody listening to us Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah.
Yes. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye.